Good afternoon, everyone. It is August 22nd, 2023, and a fun little session that we had on the ES and the NQ. We are still kind of diddling around that first standard deviation of yearly VWAP, 4400-ish on the ES, and on the NQ, that's coming in at about 950 or something like that. Yeah, right around here. So we're kind of diddling right around there. Now, what did we actually have? Let's go to the weekly outlooks for a second. There we go. Starting off with the S&P, we had a really nice bid up here. That happened during the Euro Open, pretty much opened and went vertical. On the ES, we were able to hold the ideal spot. That was right around 32, 36. Yeah, 36 quarter was last week's VWAP close. So that was the area that I wanted to see us hold. Roughly the half back, last week's VWAP close, all that sort of stuff. The monthly low from July at 19. 19.5. So I wanted to see us hold this kind of area if we wanted to have a shot at making new lows on the month, so getting below that 43.50. And that's what we did. We managed to do that. We got a gap up during the RTH, however, it was not sustained. The breadth, which opened up, I think, right around 1300 on the New York Stock Exchange, that flattened out. However, the heavyweights, the big boys, Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, these guys stayed bid during the session. Well, Nvidia didn't. The rest of them did. The gaps ended up closing. We broke the overnight lows, and then the rest of the session we were unable to break above the IB low. We were unable to break below the weekly open on the ES. That's coming at 95. You can see it was bid there for several hours. And on the NQ, we were unable to break the overnight low meaningfully, instead staying bid right around that last week's halfback, right at the overnight low, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, the NQ did move up a little bit higher up to last week's point of control at 112s. That's where I was saying that I wanted to see an overnight high put in around there, and then we could possibly get the move down lower. So, moving forward, what I'm looking for is going to be that we've done a ton of volume here at the lows on ES. So I'm going to look for sort of a crap out session. Tomorrow is not going to be a day for me where I'm looking for a fade of a direction. I'm not going to be looking to fade a rally. I'm not going to be looking to fade a dump. Instead, I'm going to be looking to go with the break. We do have flash PMI 15 minutes into the open, and we do have new home sales as well. Same thing on the NQ. I'm not looking to fade this thing. Yeah, it might get bids going down to 850-ish, but in general, I'm looking to go with the direction that we go into. We have failed to reclaim the prior month's low. We have failed to accept above the prior week's VWAP close on the ES. In general, we haven't really made much upward progress. So, with that said, how am I looking to trade this? I want to be short up until about 44.21. That's settlement highs above there, and I think I don't want to be short until we are pretty high up, going up to about 47, where we had these bids show up. Above there, the point of control from this auction on Wednesday. Above there, 65s. Above that, you're dealing with a massive range, and that's not looking like something I want to trade. So below there, short at settlement highs, the prior month's low. Ideally, we don't even get up there. Ideally, it's the VWAP close at 08s. Maybe it's 12s, that settlement close. Down below, if we do gap down, I'd be looking for a short anywhere between 94 to 99. So kind of that weekly open up to the daily close and point of control at 99s. Looking for all these players to be offside and dump it lower. I'm not going to look to try and catch a knife here. Instead, I would look to, again, join the move down. Short 88s, short 85s, that weekly close from last week. 88s and 85s, also just a really nice level-y area in general. Below, possibly getting long 74s or 72s. However, I really think we'd end up moving down into these 67s, probably running these stops. So I think in general, it's getting a little bit sketchy to fade it. Perhaps if we open above about 91, we're looking at a probable close inside of 43, 47.50. However, given how much volume we created here at the lows today, I wouldn't be surprised if we do close out below. So these, to me, are all knife catch longs below there, and you're flirting with that external trading hours, high time frame gap, that contract gap. So not interested in trading that. On the NQ, I think you're pretty bid until 850. You do have this breakout afternoon bid as well. So similar to 402s, you have 900s and 895s. So perhaps we hold it there. But again, I'd rather not be trying to fade this. I'd be taking similar areas as ES, take that half back, that overnight low from today, taking this area short. Above, they're getting short anywhere between 970 and 15,000. Uh, just looking at my other chart, yeah, about the weekly VWAP close at 973s, above their settlement closed 987s, above their VWAP close at 996, and just like ES, above 15,013.75, or otherwise known as settlement highs. I don't think this is a short. I think you end up accepting above the prior month's low at 15,063, where we were kind of struggling today. I think you end up actually accepting above that, and you end up trading a lot higher. You'll be above where the weekly volume was done from last week, and instead you're going to get some sort of squeeze scenario, perhaps up to about 270 or so. So what I was saying last week when I made the weekly outlook was that I was thinking that we'd ideally not really trade much higher than this, and instead we could come down to new lows on the month. We could close that contract gap going down to 528. That would be a nice 630 point range. After such a large directional move last week, that would be a pretty reasonably sized week. And that might be what we end up getting. We still have Jerome Powell, Harker, all this sort of stuff, Jackson Hole, all that sort of stuff coming Thursday and Friday, NVIDIA earnings tomorrow after the close, all that sort of stuff. So I would trepidatiously, dependent on how Thursday and Friday's news go, and the NVIDIA earnings, I would say that we may have a high of the week in on the NQ. The ES, I would also say, probably have a high of the week in this thing. I would look for lower lows. I think we can get into that contract gap and tag that sometime this week. But again, it's all going to be dependent on news. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Updates to this pre-market, per usual. Have a great night. Trade safe.